Welcome to part two. We're just waiting on Jerry to join us. Women love him, men want to be him. It's probably because he's got a magnum tash and a ponytail. Isn't that right, Jerry? Right there, Jerry.
Yep, that's me back again, Ross.
Good man. Nice to hear from you, Jerry. Well, a lot of comments in comment section saying to me, I know you's the best fighter in world boxing at the moment because he takes guys out at different weights. Do you agree?
I mean, how could you? There's a massive case to say that in the comments, so I understand why these people are saying it. I'm actually really looking forward to tomorrow night. And seeing his brother is on the card as well, so that's pretty interesting. He is, I think, OU is going to. Well, he's going to be. He's got to be a Hall of Famer. Like, do you agree? Or
Yeah, I agree. I agree he's an Hall of Famer and he's doing it at different weights. Pete, if he's only done it at one weight, he's knocked everybody out. He's done everybody about a few on here. The other one, is it 3? But he's exciting, isn't he, to watch? He's like, he glides across the ring, doesn't he? Scott Quigg and Joe Gallagher tell me.
yeah.
Speaking of Joe Gallagher, I've done a documentary at his gym again Friday.
Oh,
So that'll be in production starting Wednesday when Cameron's back. So that's really good. Because it's funny as well, like, but you know what I'm like, Joey, don't you?
yeah. Is it 2 parts, Russell, or is it
Yeah,
longer?
it'll be a 2-parter, and it'll be better than other one because I wasn't very happy with other one because he put wrong music in and it got dubbed, and I wanted to smash his head in. Of course, some right knackers over it. I did. I lost my cool over it. I went berserk, but we're all right now, and we're back on track. But you know, I don't suffer fools, and if it's anything through my channel, you have to scrape me off at ceiling sometimes. But he's still my pal, but I don't like mistakes. I just don't like it. I don't put up with that nonsense. So
I think everybody enjoyed it, Russell. So
yeah, beginning bit. What I was fuming about was when I said, "Right, let's go in here and I'll set about them," and then it went into like some music, and then the music got dubbed in it. You know, I don't mind if it's a song that we don't get paid for the video, fair enough. But when it's a song that they dub and there's nothing there, and it's just left to go out there, I was going off my nut. I went off my nut. You know what I mean? A lot of effort went into it, so I was pissed off. So
yeah,
it doesn't take much for me to. I'm really highly strung on it at times, but I was really cheesed off about it, to be honest, man. I was spitting feathers. And I can assure you it won't fucking happen again. But he's good at what he does, but it's a schoolboy error. But people
yeah.
make mistakes. I have bad days at office, so maybe I were a bit harsh. But I've said my bit. I don't mince my words. So we have schedule meetings now, mate, on a Tuesday, mate. I want to strangle people on them meetings.
Oh, that's weird. In my work, I have meetings in Tuesday as well, and yeah, I can think of a lot better things to be doing, to be honest.
Well, the Porky's Corner Extra channel is going to be up and running any day. And that's going to be a bit special. So that'll raise a few eyebrows. But I don't care. And who's going to stop me doing these videos? Because I can fight like fuck for my size. So am I bothered? No. Right, so who's going to stop me? Who's going to stop me? Who can stop
I'm not going to stop you.
Nobody's going to stop me. Right. Beef is saying, right, that he'll fight Crusher. Is that lip service or what? How can Crusher beat Beefy Smith?
I don't know. I can't even believe he said that.
Yeah, he's on social media. If you look, he says he'll fight Crusher Ben. Beefy Smith. Beefy's like an afterthought now, isn't it? Beefy Smith. He's on side, grey hair, smashed up off Eubank. Where's he heading? He's heading for food banks, isn't he? And Skid Row. But he's gagging for a fight with Crusher, and Crusher's gagging for a fight with Ryan Garcia.
Oh, unbelievable.
Hey?
I don't know. That's just madness. That's almost like he's trying to nick Eubank's spot because he couldn't do that fight and get that over the line. That's what that sounds like to me. He's like, oh, there's a few quid there I could nick. That's what that sounds like to me.
I know.
And it's a joke as well. Like,
Well, this is how I look at it, right, Jerry? This is how I look at it. Conor Benn, right? I'm won a belt. Area English, British, Commonwealth, European, or world. I'm like a fucking airborne repeater repeating that. But he hasn't
no,
won any belt, and he's putting his Senate mix for a fight with biggest star in boxing at the moment. Who's just failed 2 dope tests, so, and Crusher's failed 2. So why don't they let them fight and take as many steroids as they want and knock lumps on each other and let us all watch? Because none of them have won a world title. Garcia's obviously the better, more skilled boxer, but just let them fight and get on with it. And this drug testing game now, like I said before, and I'll say it again, it's like being a rapist, isn't it? Nobody wants to admit being a rapist, do they? There's thousands of men in jail. When I used to see them in there, I say, you're a rapist, you get out of my way, you rapist. I'm not, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. I'm fronting it out on the wing, sorry. I say, you're a rapist, convicted rapist. Do you know what I mean? That's what you're up against in jail. And it's same with performance enhancing drugs. Nobody admits it, Jerry. So it's a heinous crime bullying somebody on drugs, isn't it?
yeah, of course it is. Of course.
No, that's how I look at it. But Beefy Smith and Crusher, who cares? And Beefy's fighting at 160, a proper 160 guy, even spars super middles and light heavies. So how's Crusher going to be able to keep him off? He gets smashed up.
Well, the only thing that I would like to see with Crusher is he doesn't deserve to take on any of these names that he's called out, as you rightly pointed out, because how has he earned his spot? He hasn't won anything. He's tried to take a shortcut to the money. But the only reason why I want to see him take on somebody who has got an ounce of talent is to put him away and put this whole saga to bed, because you're sick to death of it. I'm sick to death of it. Everybody is sick to death of this nonsense. So someone needs to do us all a favor and put Conor Benn in the orbit so we never see him again. What do you think?
Listen, mate, I hope somebody puts Conor Benn on Button Moon and then he comes back down to earth on a polo mission and he's okay. But this is how I look at it, right? Well, this is how I look at it, Jerry, right? Crusher Ben's a cheat. He's given us 7 different versions of his story. Could you imagine him in a court of law? He'd have been found guilty months ago. He'd be in scrubs now doing a 5 stretch if he were a criminal. He's told that many whoppers. He should be in Nick. He's an embarrassment to boxing, to pro boxing, Crusher. It's a joke, mate, what's going on. An absolute joke.
I agree. 100%.
So, hey?
100% agree with you, mate. He's an embarrassment to himself as well. What kind of a sportsman is he meant to be?
Yeah, exactly. Dillian Whyte saying he might be going to MMA. Do you believe that?
Oh dear. I don't know.
He's done K2, hasn't
He has done, yeah. Maybe he is. The only person that wants to fight him is Joseph Parker. On your previous video with Adam, Adam was kind of sort of mentioning who's out there for Parker to fight next. Revenge for Parker on White is out there next, and I think they should try and get that fight made. But if Dillian Whyte is looking to avoid that because he knows he's going to get hammered, then maybe he is looking at MMA. But I'm telling you now, if he goes to MMA, the guy's punch resistance is 0. He'll get done in unless he fights some kind of taxi driver. I don't know. But yeah, he might be serious because he has done K2.
Well, if Dillian Whyte ends up on a Dana White show earning millions, we might as well pack up and go on, haven't we?
I hope he doesn't, because I don't think he should be in a position like that.
Don't you?
No,
Do you think Dylan's really bothered about what we think?
no, he probably doesn't give a toss. Sunning himself up in Portugal, or down in Portugal, as you say. No, he doesn't. He doesn't, mate.
Dillian Whyte, Dillian Whyte, Dillian Whyte, White. Eh?
Did he divorce his brother?
I don't know. Of Dean
The fake,
White. I don't know what's going on there.
the
And
fake
all,
brother.
all I see, right, is Dillian Whyte not winning a world title. I don't see it happening.
No, never, never. No way.
Not a chance, mate. Not a chance.
Not even a trinket.
Eh?
Not even a trinket belt, Rust.
He ain't got Dillian Whyte, mate. Hasn't got a world title in him, mate. All he's been is somebody that sold his arsehole on IFL to get out there. That's all they do. We'll get on IFL, get a sense out there. But none of them are doing. Dillian Whyte and Crusher Ben have got a vacant British title between them, but yet they do views, don't they?
Yeah, and it's really,
John Ryder's had fights for millions of pounds. He's not got a British title.
it's crazy, isn't it?
Do I need to go on? Anthony Yard, has he got a British title? Do I need to say any more?
No, you don't, mate. You
Hey,
don't.
these people are not going through the levels. When Carl Froch won a British title, he won it outright and he consolidated his position and learnt his craft at that level before he were ready to go for world titles. This new generation of people, 15, 16 years later, they're not wanting to do that. They wanted to take shortcuts. It's like, I can explain it. It's like somebody getting a job at Ferrari and being a panel beater and them saying to them after 2 years, right, go on, go respray that wrote off Ferrari there. They won't know what to do. The job would look an absolute load of knackers, wouldn't it? It looked
Yeah, big
rubbish.
deal.
So they wanted to cut corners. You've got to learn your craft.
Do you think that mentality?
Hey?
Do you think that mentality, Russ, nowadays is because people are, they're looking at their health and thinking, do I really want to get punched up and down, taking the hard road, and that's why they're kind of like trying to fast track themselves to you know the top, basically.
Listen, mate, people are impatient. Do you know, years and years ago, I remember speaking to my grandparents years ago, and
Yeah,
my granddad were telling me about a joiner. Back in the day, a joiner had to do 7, 8 years before they'd let him loose, on a serious job. Like
yeah,
a shop fitting job or fitting a bar in a pub or something like that. And then years later, there were people are doing that after a 2 year YTS. So they're bringing it forward 5 years. It's like if you pass your driving test when you're 18 and I give you keys to a Porsche, you're going to write it off, aren't you?
of course, of
Even though
course.
you pass your driving test, it doesn't mean say you can drive, does it? There's drivers and there's screwdrivers. If you're 18, you're a screwdriver, aren't you? You're not a driver. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that's how I look at it. But hey ho. Uh, Hughie fights Pat Corte 21-3 and a draw 18 by way of Big German Stiff on May 11th. Hughie's back fighting, but I've spoke to his dad and he says he's way off the pace and they've got to bring him back slowly. It's a rebuilding job. He's still on the 29, Hughie. So do you think there's plenty of time for him?
I actually can't believe he's still only 29. I don't know if we've been talking about Hughie Fury. He's been around for, what's that, best part of 10 years. Okay, Hughie Fury comes across as a fella who you can like. He seems like a nice guy. He's not at all like Tyson Fury. And obviously we all seen the promise that he had whenever he was kind of emerging. But I didn't even watch the last fight, but I've heard all about it and seen different sort of reviews on it. And it doesn't sound like he was impressive in the slightest. But if you be fair about it, it is going to be a rebuild job. It has to be. He's had so many issues in the last few years. It's gonna. I maybe expected him to come back at a little higher pace, but if he's not there yet, then yes, like Peter Fury's obviously saying, he needs to rebuild. But maybe keeping him busy this year. When did you say he's fighting in May?
Hughie fights on this Saturday.
11th.
Saturday on Sky.
Well, that's the best thing for him. Get a whole bunch of opponents under the belt in the next 6 or 7 months, and get him just increase the level gradually with each opponent, and get him being talked about, and get his name, get him back into the top 15 again, so people are talking about him. But he does have time because of his age. But let's hope nothing else goes wrong for him. Otherwise, I don't see any way back for him again. Just he was derailed for too long there.
Yeah.
So he needs to keep at it and be consistent now.
Yeah, I agree. Lauren Price against Jessica McCaskill headlines the show. Are we interested in that? Lauren Price, she's in her 7th fight and she's fighting for 2 world titles. I mean, women's boxing's become pish, hasn't it, really?
It's funny, obviously watching that last video that you did with Adam, and you were speaking about this as well. And do you know what I was thinking while you were chatting away about it? I was thinking all the sort of names that we had that sort of brought women's boxing into the forefront of the media, they're all coming to the end of their careers now, and there's no one to take their place. And it's just going to disappear now without a trace, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is a shame. But there you go.
Yeah,
where's the new
mad. Hey?
No, go ahead, Russ.
No, you were just saying there, Lauren Price. She's in her 7th fight. She's completed, right? About 80 minutes as a boxer, yeah? 80 minutes as a boxer, a professional boxer, and she is now in a fighting for 2 world titles. I cannot work that out in my tiny numbskull brain. I can't work it out. Am I a lollipop? Looking at this here, she's done 80 minutes as a boxer, and she's fighting for 2 world titles. When is this woke stuff going to stop? When is it going to stop this? Because that's all this is, Jerry. Woke stuff, mate. Left-wing knackers.
I think it's good that women have boxing and etc. But as you've said many times, the talent pool is tiny, and that is kind of crazy. That you find yourself in that position after 80. What did you say? 80 rounds. 80 minutes.
She's done 80 minutes as a boxer. It's 42 rounds. It works out at 80 minutes what she's done. Because she's had a few knockouts. And I've added it all up today. 80 minutes in the ring as a pro. And she's fighting for a world title. That's like 2 12-rounders is 72 minutes for men, isn't it?
It's crazy, mate.
There you go. It's crazy, mate, isn't it? It's absolute craziness. But it's what it is.
Yeah, it's not her fault. I mean, the women in the sport, that's the cards they're being dealt, so they just have to play with those cards. What can they do about it, really? Like, that's just the way that division is, like.
Yeah, I agree with you. we spoke about the guard, didn't we? He's there, he's everywhere. The guard, the guard, the guard, the guard, the guard. He's everywhere. But what about Nazim Ahmed? 22 stone, 5'4", says he can get down to 14 stone to fight Jake Paul. Hey, what's happening there?
Unbelievable, unbelievable, mate. That's Naseem Hamed looking for an easy earner, and he's jumping all over that misfits nonsense gimmick shit. And you know, well, I don't really know the guy, so I can't really say. But you know, I was hoping for maybe something a bit better to come out of that guy's mouth. You know, you can't sort of trust Mike Tyson, obviously. So it's a shame he's doing this stuff with Jake Paul, but at the same time, he's always done mad stuff. So I wouldn't have expected Naseem Hamed. Looks like he's fond of the kebabs now, so I wouldn't have expected Naseem Hamed to come off and say, "If I get down to 14 stone, I'll fight Jake Paul." That's ludicrous, mate. But everybody wants a bite of the cherry again, even after they're done and dusted in their careers. Like,
why is Nazim Ahmed coming out saying, "I never officially retired 22 years ago"? What? So you've gone from a 9 stoner, you've put 13 stone on in weight, right? Over 22 years, but you never officially retired. Well, let me tell you this: try and get that weight took off, mate. Try and take that off in 6 months. You've not got a chance. Absolutely not got a chance. Is he now desperate to get in ring, Nazim Ahmed, to show him what he's about? What is all that about?
just looking for a payday.
Hey,
Just looking to make some easy cash, and he can see the dollar signs with something gimmicky like that.
Mr. I don't want to see fat Nazim Ahmed in ring. The guy's a weapon. I don't want to see him taking money off boxing fans. I don't want to see Mike Tyson against Jake Paul taking money off boxing fans. I don't want to see it. They're talking about Gordon Ramsay having a fight now, aren't they? It's
Oh,
utter
Jesus.
madness. It's madness, mate. It's driving me around the fucking bend, all this. And then I'm
I'm
going
not
to end up having an heart attack.
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay's
Unbelievable.
on about doing the business now. Hey, what is all that about? That?
Garbage.
Hey, what do you think to Oscar De La Hoya? Do you think he needs? Do you think he needs to lay off the old sniff? Hey,
I think Oscar De La Hoya must fancy Eddie Hearn because he won't leave him alone on social media, and I think he's lost the plot, and maybe that's why Ryan Garcia has lost the plot as well. He's a nut job as well, and that's a real shame. Like, because I used to like De La Hoya back in the day, and as soon as he towards the end of his career, and as soon as he became a promoter, he turned into a complete and utter freak show. Yeah, needs to lay off. Needs to lay off the Daz automatic.
he needs to lay off something, doesn't he, mate?
He does, mate.
Do you think Eddie and Oscar need to stop going at it and going at each other? Do you think it's become boring now, Jerry?
To me, I think it's more one-sided though. Eddie Hearn's just like, "Oh, what are you doing this for?" And De La Hoya's just got it in for him. I think he's jealous or something. I don't know. It's very, very strange. But yeah, you're right. Who gives a shit? We can't be arsed, even listening to these type of headlines anymore. So yeah, if they could drop it, that would be nice. But unfortunately, De La Hoya I don't know. He's relentless, mate.
He's what?
He's relentless.
He's unbelievable, De La Hoya. I think he's off his rock. I mean, I think he's back on the old packet.
He is, mate. He's a madman.
What do you think to Floyd Mayweather being arrested in Dubai?
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he's Mayweather's apparently. I don't know if he's been released. Probably will have been, but apparently he got arrested over some discrepancy with money. and he's in a Dubai jail apparently, or he might have been released now. Let me just have a little check. Floyd Mayweather.
Discrepancy over money. What, did he pay too much money?
I think he bought some a check bounced or something. He doesn't say out on it.
All right.
Have a look. All right, it doesn't say. But hang on a minute. Floyd Mayweather. Floyd. How do you spell Floyd?
FL00. Oh, sorry. YD.
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather, Dubai jail.
I'll look that up too.
Oh, Floyd Mayweather is being held.
Unpaid debt.
Yeah. Floyd
Crazy stuff, mate.
is being held in a Dubai jail because what? Because allegedly one of his friends stole jewelry, got away with it, and blocked all communication with Floyd. No, unlucky on that one, Floyd. But
Yeah.
the Dubai government will not allow Floyd Mayweather to be released or something.
Madness.
My God, amazing bits. The Dubai government will not allow Floyd Mayweather to leave over a piece of jewelry. Oh my God. I mean, I remember when he was in that American jail, he only did a month, didn't he, or something? And he came out talking like he was Papillon.
Yeah.
Hey, what
Steve McQueen.
about, eh?
He came out talking like Steve McQueen.
He came out talking like Steve McQueen. He thought he was Papillon. What craziness, isn't it? I've done more time than him in dinner queue in prison. He only
Dude in
did
Papillon.
6 weeks or something. Get a grip.
Unbelievable.
Anthony Joshua. Who's he going to fight next? There's a lot of chit chat about him fighting in September.
I've seen that. It's a lot of talking and nothing concrete. I don't know who he's going to fight, mate. Who's he going to fight? So they were saying possibly the winner of Hergovich and Dubois. That would be okay, I suppose. I wouldn't mind seeing either of those guys in with AJ. Aside from that, I don't know who you'd stick him in with. Don't know, mate.
Well, we'll see. What do you think to Dave Allen at the moment? Do you think he's going anywhere, or do you think he's heading for Skid Row?
No, poor Dave though. Seems like a really nice guy and all that. But no, mate, nothing's going to happen with Dave Allen. I don't think. Maybe a few more taxi driver fights just for a few quid, but nothing exciting, unfortunately, for Dave. I don't think.
Yeah, I think Dave's burnt a lot of bridges, hasn't he, really? I personally think once that Daniel Dubois thing didn't happen for him, I think his heart wanting it. I think he realised that Eddie had shafted him and gone back on his word, and I think he thought, do you know what? Get me the fuck out of here. That's what I think.
That's understandable.
Yeah, well, you can understand that, can't you, really?
Of course, mate.
But I kind of like feel for Dave in a way. I don't speak to Dave now. He sees me, he looks other way, don't you, Dave? You're wrong. And I tell it straight, don't I? If you want to slob about like some slob that's been dragged through an edge,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? When really he had the world in his hands, didn't he?
Yeah, he could have made more of it.
Do you know in years to come, Jerry, he'll be one of them people, Dave Allen, that end at bar saying, I could have been, a runner been. Do you know what I mean?
That's terrible.
Woulda, shoulda. That's why it'll be for Dave.
It's quite sad.
I think it is, don't you?
Of course I do. Of course I do. Poor fella. I think you're right. I think he realized, what am I doing at this? And that sort of brought about his first retirement. He just realized he was used like a bit of garbage.
Yeah, you've got to feel for him, but do you know what? You've got to blame Eddie Hills, really, aren't you, on this one?
Yeah.
You've got to blame Eddie Hills because at the end of the day, It's all down to Eddie, this. Eddie could have delivered for him, but because there's that much bad blood between Eddie Hills and Bricktop, Dave got caught in firing line. That's my opinion.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I think he got caught in firing line, and that's your lot. That's what I think, and I think it's a shame. But what can you do? You know, it's boxing, isn't it? It's a tough sport, isn't it? I mean, look at Gary Sykes, right? Julian's fighter.
Yeah.
He was robbed of his British title through politics and the fact that the board didn't want to part with a belt because they cost a lot of money, don't they? So that's how I look at it, mate. And they just run roughshod over everybody, mate. The small little people in boxing get squashed like ants. And Dave's like Gary Sykes. They just got mistreated. And nobody even cares, mate. When I put that billboard up in Dewsbury, nobody cared, mate. Nobody cared. The fortunes to put all them, I did that off my own back. Nobody give me a penny towards that, mate. I did that off my own back because I believed in it, that it was the right thing to do. And did IFL or Boxing Social or any of them other channels give me any airtime over it? Did they, heck, mate? They're not bothered about Gary Sykes. They weren't bothered about him. That border control bothered? They're not bothered, mate. No one cares anymore. Do you know what I mean? But if that had been an Eddie Hills fighter, it'd have been on news at 10.
Sad state of affairs.
Yeah, so why should I care if they're not going to care? So you can only do your best, can't you? And that's why I say to my little boy, Red, yes, listen, all you can do in life is your best. And if it don't work out, you hold your head up high and you move on. And if people shaft you, there's two ways you can do it. You can go smash their heads in and go to prison, or just say, you know what, you're a shithouse and move on, or accept it on chin. So, but I feel for Gary Sykes with his British title. Same as I feel for Dave Allen, whereas Eddie said he'd match whatever offer Bricktop made him. Bricktop made him a good offer. He never matched it. And I think it got away from Dave then. And it's easy for your mindset to slip in boxing. Because don't forget, fighters are getting punched in the head. I know I give them a bit of stick, only if they start chatting knackers, but they're getting punched in the head. And once they've become used and abused, nobody cares for any fighters, you know. Nobody's bothered.
Yeah.
No, is anybody going round to Dave's to see if he's all right? Where's his big entourage? Because when he were fighting on Matchroom, he used to trot around at these shows, 15 people around him. Where's his entourage now?
They're not round his house having a cup of tea anyway.
They're not around his house having a cup of tea, are they, in a Lion Bar? Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Jerry. It's been a real tonic to speak to you. You're always a good guest. I hope you're well. And what part of Ireland are you from?
Just outside Belfast. I'm from Belfast, but I live outside Belfast now, just outside it.
All right then, mate. Okay, well, listen, you take care. God bless, Jerry.
Take it easy, mate.
See you, mate. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Well, that was Jerry from Ireland. Women love him, men want to be him. And he's still got his Magnum Tash. Okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Booyaka.